Hey friends, Megan here. Today I want to talk to you about housing and the housing options we're looking for on our homestead. So as you can see behind me, that's our RV and that's where we currently live. We've actually lived in this for about 2 years now and we love the smaller tiny house size. Now we don't want to stay completely tiny. That's usually considered like less than 400 square feet. We want to go a little bit bigger than that. Well, maybe double that. And stay about 700 to 800 square feet. The sticks and bricks house we saw before buying our RV was over 2,500 square feet. So, as you can see, we made a major decrease, about 1/10 of the size when we bought the RV. And now we're going to go quite a bit bigger, at least for us anyways. Some of y'all out there are probably still thinking 700, 800 square feet. Can somebody really live in that? And the answer is yes, and happily too. Because we have figured out in our RV lifestyle that you don't actually need that much in a bedroom. And that's where a lot of your space goes in a house. So really, what do you need in a bedroom? You need a bed, you need a place to put your clothes, and that's about it. That's what you do in your room. You sleep, you change clothes. That's all you need. My idea is to have a bed, custom built, hopefully by Kenneth if I can talk him into it, with drawers underneath for a dresser, and then we would just need a closet for our hang-up clothes. We may, decorate the walls. We may put a computer in our bedroom as well. We do have to have a computer for our businesses, but we are hopefully going to turn the RV into a home-based business where I can run the soap company and the blog right out of the RV when we build our new house. So far, we've been able to live this journey almost completely debt-free. We're not completely 100% debt-free. We still have a loan out on our truck and we each have a credit card apiece. But that's all we have, and that's all we want to have. But even though we do have some credit that we have out, we don't want another mortgage. That is the last thing we want. We were paying over $1,000 a month for our house. $1,000 a month. And now our budget consists of $1,000 a month. Our entire mortgage is now what our budget is. And that includes budgeting for all the extra things and putting money into savings. That's a little crazy, and that's where I want to keep it. Because that allows us to not have to work all the time, to be able to spend more time as a family, and to be able to put forth a ton of money into our savings so that we can have adventures like this. So we've been building up our savings, saving every bit we can to be able to afford to do some kind of housing completely from cash. We're buying our property with cash, and we want to do a house with cash as well. But nobody's going out there and building a $200 house out of cash, or at least nobody we know. So we are looking at lower price and budget-friendly housing options. And the ones we're going to talk about today are going to be the shed to house, a yurt, a log cabin kit, a manufactured home, and a barn dominium. So 5. It seems like I always do 5 when I do any kind of list, and I promise it's not even on purpose. That's a complete accident. 5's not even my favorite number. 3 is. So don't know what's up with the weird ritual 5s, but that's where we're at. We have been looking at 5 different types of housing to try to figure out what is the best option for us, what is the lowest price per square foot for something that we want to build in about 700, 800 square foot range, and I'm here to share all of my research with you today. Now, of course, with any in-depth video like this, there will be an accompanying blog post on our blog over at www.livingtheheightlife.com. And I'll leave a link down in the description box below. Okay guys, so the first house in this list is going to be a shed to house. Now the shed to house we were looking at actually comes from Liberty Sheds here in South Carolina. It is a 14 by 52 and that would be 728 square feet. Now this particular theme for this shed would be called the Carolina. And when I was looking at it, I couldn't find a price for the 14 by 52. But the starting price for this shed is $10,589, and that is for like a 12 by 20. I knew that the shed we were looking at is 3 times that size, and so I just kind of doubled this price to give me a rough estimate of about $20,000 for the shed we were looking for. And that seems to be a fairly consistent price with the sheds we're looking for in this over 700 square foot range all across the board. Now the approximate time to install it would actually be about a week to a month, just depending on if you've already got your foundation set up and when the company can get out there to install it. But after that becomes the hard work of setting up the interior and working with your county to make sure you have the correct permits to build your home out. If you ever want to expand a shed to home, it would be actually fairly easy as long as it had 2 doors, and so you could take the back door, just add a walkway, and do another shed on the other side. Now, a wonderful thing about doing a shed to home is they are 100% customizable. A lot of shed dealers actually have an option on their websites where you can completely design your shed. You can choose its color, its roof, what each of the siding and roof is made out of, how many windows you want, where you want them, and what doors you want in it. So just keep in mind that if you're looking for something you can design, this is a great way to go. Now here are the plans that I would choose for our shed to home. Please excuse my artwork. I did these on a Word document, and so they are obviously not to scale and they're not very good, but it'll give you a good idea of what we're looking for. So on this shed to home, I would do a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Each bedroom would be about 100 square foot and the bathroom would be about 55 square feet, leaving 378-ish square feet for the kitchen and living room area. As you can see, that's one big open area. It would not be closed off because sheds do not have to have center supports. So you can leave that area completely open. Now if you want to do a smaller shed, you could leave the whole thing open and do it more like a studio apartment. And so that allows you to customize this specifically to you and your family, and you can go much smaller or larger, all depending on your wants and needs. So to finish it out the way that we would be looking at, we estimated to be about $20,000 to completely finish out these plans and everything we've got set up. It is kind of expensive to finish out the interior of a shed to house, but because you're looking at adding insulation, sheetrock, and all of the above, it will come with nothing. Okay, so now to permit a shed to house. I have heard this is a little difficult, and if you're in the Shed to House Facebook group, then you'll see that a lot of people have very big issues in getting their shed to house permitted. And the whole reason I think that is because they are specifically calling it a shed. So the important thing to remember is that we are all humans, and as humans we all have biases within us. And so that may be based off our personal experience or our opinions. So think of this as, before you heard of a shed to house, when you thought of a shed, what did you think of? Did you think of it as a little box that you went and put your lawnmower, your tools and stuff in? Now can you imagine somebody living in that? You might be a little biased against them, and it's completely understandable. So it's all about how you phrase it to be able to help your permitter see what your dreams are. And you may actually need to go so far as to be able to get plans drawn up by an architecture so that they can see on paper what it would look like. So different keywords if you're trying to do this and you're trying to get it permitted, I would use that it is a pre-constructed home shell. You're not lying. It is pre-constructed. You are turning it into a home, and it is a shell, meaning it has nothing on the inside. So by calling it a pre-constructed home shell, they look at it more like a home kit and can see the potential possibilities that are there in place. This gives you a greater option and gives you more leeway in the permitter and being able to see what you want to do. The total estimate that I would include in this is about $40,000, and that does not include the foundation. So number 2 on our list would be a yurt. And a yurt is actually the most affordable housing option we have on this list. Now the yurt we are specifically looking at for our family would be about 30 feet and 706 square foot, and that would come from Blue Ridge Yurts in Virginia. They're about the only yurt company we've actually found that is based on the East Coast. Most yurt companies are based on the West Coast. And so with them being on the East Coast, they're about 3 hours drive from us, and we do plan to go up to their office one day and be able to tour it because it is, of course, in a yurt. They also rent out a yurt, so you can pay about $120 to sleep in it. If you want to see what living in a yurt may be like, that would be a great option for you. So for the yurt base that we are looking at is just over 13,000 square feet, and that includes being able to have wooden window frames placed in, because most yurts come with vinyl windows, and we would want the window frames placed in so that we could put actual glass windows in its place. And so that does cost a little bit of an upgrade, but to us we think that's totally worth it. We would also have a stovepipe insert put in because wood heat is high on our priority list, and so that is how we would choose to heat our yurt. So like with a shed to house, a yurt is very much customizable. You can choose everything from the color fabric you want, or if you want wood sided, if you want vinyl windows, or have window frames put in, whatever you want, it is all up to you. You design it, they build out the actual yurt, take it apart, put it in a package, and ship it to you, and then you put it up at your home base. Some yurts may be used temporarily, and that's how a lot of other countries do it. They move them with animals if they're rotationally grazing, or if they're following animals in the wild. And then some, like what we're looking to do, can be permanent housing structures. So these are the plans that we would do of our yurt. As you can see, it would be a 2-bedroom, 1-bath yurt with kitchen and living room, of course. The bedrooms would each be about 125 square feet, the bathroom about 50 square feet, and the living room and dining room would be about 400 square feet. Now above the bedrooms and the bathroom, we are talking about putting in like a loft area, so that would give them a ceiling area to block that off, and then we would have extra storage space up there. It would not be considered a sleeping loft, just a place to store things out of the way. Now if we ever wanted to expand our yurt, it's as easy as adding a walkway and an additional yurt, and that would probably be what we would do in the future if our family continued to grow. Now, a yurt may be a little difficult to get permitted, but we're willing to try it. I know there's several yurts down here in the southeast, but they're more of a recreational yurt. One yurt that I do know of that's being lived in is by the Fit Farmer in North Carolina, and they live in it, so if you want to check out a yurt on a homestead, go check them out. So we know it is possible. We may have to work with our county. Blue Ridge Yurts that we are looking at go through actually has architectural plans that are already drawn up that we can get from them and take to our county so that they can see what we would have in mind. Now the cost of a yurt that we were looking at would be about $28,000, and that's completely finished out on the inside, which we estimate would be about $15,000. Now third on our list is going to be the Satterwhite Homes log cabin kit. Now log cabins are beautiful, and we absolutely would love to live in a log cabin. However, this is also the most expensive housing option on this list. So the log cabin kit that we were looking at would be the Walnut Creek plan. It is 768 square feet, and to get a constructed log cabin kit, meaning they will actually bring all the materials to your home site and put it up there, it's just over $60,000. Now you also have the option with all of them to be able to get just the materials shipped to you and have you and a company near you put it up, or to have you and your family, however you want to do that, and so that comes in at about $30,000, so about half the price, which would make this option very affordable. However, we know that we do not have the equipment and people around us that we know that could put up a log cabin kit, so if we were going to go with this option, we would get the constructed package. Now that constructed package comes with all the wiring and plumbing and everything already done. If you're within 300 miles of the company, they actually go ahead and include the slab foundation in it and will pour that foundation for you. But if you're greater than 300 miles, just know that that is not an option for you, and you'll have to have that poured separately. To get this option built, it may take you anywhere from 1 month to 6 months, depending on whether and what company is actually putting it up in place. Using the Satterwhite company to construct it would also be the quickest option, because they do these all the time, and so they're very quick in getting them put up and getting them put up accurately. Now you may think by us choosing a plan that is already in place that there's not much customization, but that would be wrong. You can go sit down with Satterwhite, tell them what you want, and have a customized plan drawn up completely for you. Now that may come at an additional charge, but if that's what you want, that option is available. They also even give you an option of having your home dried in, meaning they put in all the light fixtures and everything you can need to make your home move-in ready. Because we would be choosing the construction package that comes with the wiring and plumbing already ran, we estimate it would take us about $10,000 to finish out the log cabin. So here are the plans that we would be using if we went with the log cabin kit. Now these are pulled directly from the Satterwhite website, and I will of course link that to you down in the description box below. Okay, so with these log cabin kit plans, there are a few changes I would have to make it functional for my family. First off, what you can't see in this diagram is that there is actually a loft that is over the kitchen and dining area. And so you can see right there by the back door that there is a ladder to the loft. First thing I would absolutely want to do is change that ladder into an actual set of stairs. The loft could then be turned into 2 rooms upstairs for kids' rooms, and that would be perfectly fine. And then we would take over a portion of the family room and turn that into a parent room on the bottom floor. The other option I would have is to actually extend the loft all the way across the house and turn it into 3 bedrooms upstairs, or 2 large bedrooms and 1 bathroom. In the kitchen, I would also have them take out the washer and dryer unit and extend my countertops all the way to the wall. Take that closet out of the kitchen and turn it into a pantry, and then if they would, I would have them take the back door and turn it into a set of French doors so that we can easily go out back and eat. As you can see from the plans, this is a 2-story house, so it makes great use of that vertical space, and if you have a smaller property, that may be the best option for you. Now to get one of these permitted is not going to be hard at all. Log cabin kits have been around for a very long time. They're not a new option, and so A lot of permitters are used to permitting things like this, or they know people who have, so they're able to put that through with no issues. So if we went with the log cabin kit, the total price that we are looking at is just over $70,000 to have it completely constructed for us. That takes away a little bit of the headache of having to do it ourselves, so maybe a little extra money is worth it. You never know. It's all up to what you can afford in your location, and the great thing about doing a log cabin kit is oftentimes you can actually get them financed with no issues. So if you don't have the money to be able to pay for a home outright, but you also don't want to go and spend $200,000 on a new home, look into these log cabin kits and see what you can do to get one financed. Now the next house that we're looking at is actually a manufactured home. The one we were looking at would be specific from Clayton Homes in Columbia, South Carolina, and it is the Blazer 48A model. And so this model is 752 square feet, and it starts out at about $50,000. Now that does not include delivery and installation, which can be a lot extra. I'm not sure. I've never had one delivered. So just keep in mind that that is not the finished out price. However, the great news about this is that they actually come live-in ready. So we estimate it would be about $5,000 to get it all finished out, and that would be just for appliances and stuff that we would want to have added in. The time to be able to live in this, as I said, since it comes in lived in ready, would not be long at all. You can look at about a week to a month depending on how long it takes to get yours delivered to you. And a great thing about permitting with a manufactured home is they are super easy to do. In our location, all we have to do is just buy a permit for a manufactured home and we are good to go. Now the downfall of that is that it's not very customizable. You can look on Clayton Homes website and they do say that you can customize a few things and have one built specific for you, but you're not going to be able to customize everything. But if you're looking for something that's very affordable and ready for your family to move into, a manufactured home is a great choice. Also, manufactured homes can usually be financed. A lot of companies like Clayton Homes will finance their homes themselves, and so you can just pay them kind of like a mortgage till you get your home paid off, and then it's completely yours. So the total we would be looking at for a Clayton home of this size would be about $55,000, and that does not include delivery and installation fee like I said, so I'm not sure. It may be $60,000, but remember, it is move-in ready. So here are the plans that we were looking at with this home. This is the Blazer 48A plans. Great thing is on this website you can actually see what the interior looks like, so you can get a good feel for that, and you can flip through all the different plans that are about the size. They're all about the same price range too. Now with these manufactured home plans, you can see I've already been doing some drawing on it. There's a few things I would absolutely want to change. I do find it absolutely crazy that on here the second bedroom is about the same size as the kitchen. That blows my mind to me. I would much rather have smaller bedrooms and a much larger kitchen. The kitchen is the heart of the home, so why is it one of the smallest rooms? I will never understand that. But if we were going with this, I could make it work, and this is how I would do it. I would absolutely move my dining area into the living area. The living room is absolutely large enough to do that, and just stick a table against one of the walls. You can either do it near the kitchen itself or right there next to where the dining area is. I would then take and extend my kitchen counters out to make a U shape to give me much more counter space. This house has no counter space. It's crazy. I would also, of course, take out the washer and dryer units. They are in a closet in the hallway, and that I would shelve in and enclose to make a walk-in pantry. It's looked to be about 2-3 feet deep, so that is plenty of space to store some canned goods. There is an option, you can't see it on this plan, but it's on the website, where you can take this bath out of the bathroom and turn it into just a walk-in shower, and that's what we would do as well. We don't take baths really. Declan has never liked a bath. We've always bathed him in a shower ever since he was 2 weeks old, and we've just been much happier that way. And I will leave a link down to this website down in the description box below. Okay, so the last home on our list is actually the barn dominium. You may also know this as a pole barn. And yes, I'm talking those metal barns you see. People turn those into beautiful, extravagant homes, and you can actually do one for a very budget-friendly option. So the company we were looking at doing it is through All Purpose Pole Barns, and I will of course link them in the description box below like I'll do with all of these. The pole barn we're looking at is 20 foot by 38 feet, and that comes in at 760 square feet, so a really good size for us. The price for this pole barn is actually $20,000, and that includes windows and doors that I've chosen to add to make it more like home. Now, pole barns are actually the most customizable option out there, even more than a shed house or a yurt. And that is because you can actually choose foot by foot what size you want your pole barn to be. I could have done 21 feet by 21 feet. I could have done 60 feet by 60 feet. It's all up to you and what you're willing to put into it money-wise. You can also choose how tall you want your pole barn to be. I chose 8 feet because I think that's a great size for a house, but you could go bigger and do 16 feet if you want to do a loft above it. So that would give you where you could do a smaller horizontal footprint and a higher vertical footprint if you have a small area to do this in. So to install a pole barn, I don't know, it could take anywhere from 1 month to 6 months, and of course you may need to hire help to do so, because I can't imagine it'll be easy to lift all that metal up high in the air, and we don't have the equipment to do that anyways. So make sure to count in the cost of the construction crew while you're doing it. The plans for the pole barn that we would do would be a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Of course the laundry would be on the outside like I've been saying. Each bedroom would be about 100 square feet, and the bathroom would be about 60 square feet, with the living room and kitchen being about 400 square feet together. Permitting for a pole barn may be difficult, just like with a shed house or a yurt. It's going to be all about your permitter, making sure that it meets code, and making sure that your permitter understands what you're doing with it. So that's just all going to depend on your situation. I actually have not met any people who live in a pole barn yet, so I don't have any feedback or anybody to direct you to. If you know of anybody who lives in a pole barn, please drop that down in the comments below. I would love to know about them. Now, the foundation for a pole barn would be a slab concrete, and you could actually use this for your floor if you wanted. We would lay down some kind of padding and do a hardwood floor or carpet above it, because having a toddler running across concrete would not be the safest option for us. So without the foundation or the install or the construction or any of that, I estimate that the pole barn would cost us about $40,000. Now again, with the pole barn, it's 100% customizable, so if you're looking at it and you're saying, that's a little much, you can dial it back a couple of feet and see what your price is then. It's all up to you and your imagination and what you choose to do with your pole barn. So if you've been following along, you probably know what the cheapest option is already, but I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you. So a yurt comes in number 1 at our cheapest option. For the yurt we chose, we're looking at about $28,890, and that comes down to about $40.92 per square feet. The next cheapest option for us would actually be a barn dominium. The barn dominium we chose would average about $40,000, and that comes in at $52.63 per square foot. Next up in price, and not by much, would be the shed house. Again, the shed house we chose is about $40,000. That seems to be pretty common for us. And this one would come in at about $54.94 per square foot. So it'd be about $2 more to do the shed house than it would be the barn dominium. The 4th most expensive option on our list is the manufactured home. It would be about $55,000, and that's about $73.14 per square foot. And the most expensive option, which everybody already knew, would be the log cabin kit. And that would be about $70,400. Which is about $91.66 per square foot. Can you believe it? That is twice as much as it would be to build a yurt, to build a log cabin kit. Now, it's all going to depend on what you want, what you can see yourself living in long term, and what you feel safe putting your family in. Originally, I had looked at the yurts and I wasn't very sure about them. They seem a little bit flimsy when you're just looking at them, and so I didn't necessarily feel safe right away at putting my family in them. Being able to really research them and look at how they're constructed and how the force is applied to the yurt to distribute it evenly made me feel much safer. And the option of us being able to remove the fabric down the road and put it on wood siding also makes me feel safer. So we are really looking towards being able to build us a yurt. Now it's all going to depend on permitting and everything, and we still need to go tour some yurts to be able to make sure that is truly the right choice for us, but that is currently where we're leaning. We are hoping to be able to get out to Blue Ridge Yurts here soon and be able to tour their home office, which is a yurt, and maybe even be able to take a sneak peek into the one that they rent out. If we do, we'll take you along for the ride. So don't forget to follow us along our journey and find out what our process is, what house we end up in, and if it became a headache to get it permitted through the county officials or not. We promise to take you along for the ride, and we look forward to talking to you again next week. Bye now.